Right, math people, this is a quick review of the ratio problems, the extra practice handout that was assigned for homework. You had problems 1 through 4, as well as problems 6 and 8. Let's get right to it with problem number 1. Problem 1, Jessie has a collection of 147 sports figurines, and you know that the ratio of football to baseball is a 2 to 5. There's a lot of different ways you could have solved this. I'm going to show most of these with tape diagrams just to give the visual representation. So for this one, a 2 to 5 ratio would look like this. And for this problem, the important information is you have 147 total figurines. So this whole tape diagram represents 147 things, some of which are baseball, some of which are football. Since there are 7 parts to the tape diagram here, I need to break up the 147 total figurines amongst the 7 different parts of the tape diagram. So 147 divided by 7 tells me that each part of the tape diagram, each little piece, is worth 21. And once you know that, that unlocks the whole problem. I can easily now tell that there are 42 of the football. I should have labeled these. And there are 21 times 5, so that's 105 of the baseball figurines. And so the ultimate question was, how many baseball figurines does Jessie have in the collection? And that would be 105 baseball figurines, final answer. So that's number 1. Number 2, in prep for an Easter egg hunt, 4 blue eggs are filled for every 7 green ones. How many green eggs will be filled if 100 blue eggs are filled? So 2 different ways you could do this. I'm encouraging the tape diagram just because it's nice to have that visual aspect, but I can also show this with a table real quick too. 4 to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My tape diagram isn't pretty, but here we've got a 4 to 7. This is blue to green. And in this problem, the important information is 100 blue eggs were filled. So the 100 is just for the blue part of the tape diagram. And since there's 4 pieces there that need to represent 100, I know that each piece is worth 25. So the green ones are each worth 25 as well. And do a quick multiplication problem. 25 times 7 parts of that tape diagram is 175. So that's one way to get to the answer. If you're curious how this would look in a table, you've got blue to green, and that's 4 to 7 is the base ratio, and we're told that the blue has 100, so to get from 4 to 100 you can get there directly, times 25, so 7 times 25 is 175, and there you go, there's number 2. For number 3, a recipe for pizza dough calls for 3 teaspoons of salt for every 4 cups of flour. So if you're the visual person, 3 to 4 will look something like this. And this is salt to flour. If you read carefully, you notice that the important information here is the flour in reality uses 28. So 28 spread across 4 pieces, that means that each of these is worth 7, and that means that each of these is worth 7. So that would mean your final answer is you use 21 teaspoons of salt. Another way to get here again is you could set up a table if you'd like, and it's a 3 to 4 ratio of salt to flour, and I need to get to something with 28. To get from 4 to 28, you can get there directly, times 7. So 3 times 7 gets you to 21. Either way, your final answer for number 3 should have been 21 teaspoons of salt. For question 4, fitness instructors recommend a workout of both cardio and strength at a ratio of 7 to 4. That's cardio to strength. And the question is, how many minutes of cardio would be recommended for 20 minutes of strength? So I'll go with a table for this one. This is cardio, this is strength, this is 7 to 4. If I'm doing 20 minutes of strength, I can get there directly, multiplying by 5. I can multiply this by 5, and that would be 35. So if I want to keep the ratio of the amount of time I spend on cardio to strength at a 7-to-4 ratio, 7 minutes of cardio for every 4 minutes of strength, then I need to do 35 minutes of cardio to accompany the 20 minutes of strength training. And your final answer here would be 35 minutes of cardio. That's for number 4. You could have done a tape diagram too. 7 pieces to 4 pieces, divide up the 4 pieces. 20 minutes spread across 4 pieces of a tape diagram would mean each part of the tape diagram is worth 5. So the 7 pieces of the other tape diagram are each worth 5 as well, and that gets you to 35. All right, 2 more. Last week, Yum Creamery sold a total of 600 cups and cones of ice cream. The ratio is 3 to 7, and that's cups to cones. So if you're a visual person, we'll go back to tape diagrams for this one. 3 to 7 looks something like this. And since we're told that the total of cups and cones combined, so both of these pieces of the tape diagram add up to 600, I need to spread 600 across these 10 pieces of the tape diagram. So that means that each piece, of the tape diagram needs to be worth 60, because 600 divided by 10 pieces of the tape diagram is 60. And then I can easily answer, how many cones did they sell this week? This part of the tape diagram is cups. This part is cones. If there's 60 spread across the 7 pieces of the tape diagram, that would get me to 420. So final answer, 420 ice cream cones were sold last week. All right, last question. A vegetable garden has 3 tomato plants for every 5 lettuce plants. How many tomato plants are there if there are 45 lettuce plants? So 3 to 5. Label tomato and lettuce. Okay, we're told there's 45 lettuce plants, so that means that this part of the tape diagram is worth 45, and there's 5 pieces of it. So everything's a 9 here, which means everything's a 9 here. Remember, the key to unlocking tape diagram problems is finding what one box is worth. Once you know what one box is worth, you know what all the boxes are worth. So that would mean there are 9 times 3, 27 tomato plants for every 45 lettuce plants. And that keeps a 3 to 5 ratio intact. All right, this was the first part of last night's homework. There's a separate video for the other part of last night's homework. You can view that as well, and then get to practicing. Good luck.